Hey, so just last couple things. And so hopefully that if you've played it with third through fifth in the morning, you'll have a good idea of kind of how this game is structured. K through second grade can play this. It's normal, but what I'll usually do before we do the full version of the game is for like round one, I'll be the Grinch and I'll be the only Grinch. And the idea is they're just practicing running back and forth, trying to avoid one tagger, so it's not so overwhelming. If they get tagged, they just drop what they had and they put their hands up and they just walk back to Whoville. And the only thing they have to do to get back in the game is one burpee. So that's their kind of penalty for getting tagged. So that's kind of the basic level one round. Level two round, what I'll do usually with the little guys is after that practice round, I'll choose three kids to be the taggers instead of me. And then, they'll get the wristbands or the jersey and they'll get the pool noodle. And so now the kids have to avoid three taggers. Now it's a little bit more normal what the game's supposed to be. Same idea, though. If they get tagged, they drop it. Go back to Whoville, do a burpee. A big thing with the little guys, too, is just double checking to make sure they are only grabbing one and that the Grinches can't touch the bean bags. I don't remember if I mentioned that earlier, but that is a big rule of the game. The Grinches can't touch the bean bags. After that, then I'll introduce the Grinch Caves. Then I'll introduce the new characters, Cindy Lou, Sammy Lou, and then we'll play kind of the main version. And then it'll be just kind of as normal. With the bigger kids, depending on how quickly they're catching on, if it looks like they're ready for an extra challenge or you have more time, you can just add more taggers. So if you add two more taggers, that's a total of 5 Grinches. You can also say, because there's more taggers and it's harder, that they can grab 2 presents at a time and bring them back. And Cindy Lou and Sammy Lou can save two Who's at a time and bring them back to Whoville. So those are some ways that you can modify the game. I'm trying to think of other questions that sometimes arise. Like you can, of course, have more than one Who trapped in a Grinch cave. That doesn't matter. The Grinch can't tag you if you're beyond the yellow end lines. We pretend the yellow end lines extend all the way to the walls. So even if you're like not on the mats, you're still safe as long as you're past that end line. And then, just like basic safety, basic, movement, like watch where you're going, watch where you're running. And the only other thing I can think that possibly comes up that to be expected is if a student, or especially with the little guys, sometimes they get really annoyed or sad if they don't get picked for a special job, like a Grinch or a Who, or a Cindy Lou or Sammy Lou. So what I'll usually do is I'll say, hey, if you've already been something, like if you've already been a Grinch or you've already been Cindy Lou or Sammy Lou, don't raise your hand to be another job. Like, let's give everybody a chance to have at least one special job. And usually if you play, 3 or 4 rounds, usually that's just about everybody. So just some things to keep in mind for what's to be expected.